hockey, the men advance to the semifinals, and the women meet arch rival Canada in today's gold medal game.
Controversy continues in figure skating, even a week after the men's short program. We talked to Evan Lysacek about tonight's women's free skate and about his new medal.
Lindsey Vonn crashes out of the giant slalom and breaks her finger. Julia Mancuso reruns the course as conditions worsen and now sits in 18th place. Welcome to Vancouver Today. I'm Reed Cherner.
And I'm Christine Brennan.
Fog and snow canceled the second run of the women's giant slalom at Whistler Creekside yesterday. Lindsey Vonn slid into netting and injured her right pinky finger. The second run of the race has been rescheduled for today. USA Today's David Leon Moore tells us about the drama unfolding for the U.S. team at Whistler.
Yesterday's race involved a lot of bizarre coincidences that actually brought up some of the strained feelings between Julia and Lindsey. What happened was Lindsey started 17th and crashed. Julia had started 18th and was actually sent out of the start gate. So Julia was on the course racing down slalom and actually was fast in the first two intervals. And then she was yellow flagged, which means she has to stop because Lindsey was still on the side of the course. That meant Julia had to restart. That pretty much ruined her chances of a fast time because the conditions were deteriorating, snow was getting soft. She ended up over a second behind the leaders and probably does not have a chance to medal today. She didn't blame Lindsey for crashing. Lindsey was just trying to win the race. She did blame the course officials for starting her in the first place and then not flagging her until she was almost toward the bottom of the course. What made it more interesting even than that was the fact that Julia had been quoted earlier in the day in a Sports Illustrated online article as saying that the women on the team were somewhat struggling because all of the attention on the team had been placed on Lindsey. And after the race, of course, they were both asked about that, and Lindsey was quite shaken. She said she was hurt that her teammate would say that she's always supported Julia. And Julia declined to elaborate on it, just saying that she was here to race and didn't want to get into that. It was a real dramatic day on the hill and not a successful day for the American. Probably we haven't heard the last of this story.
It's an interesting situation, two teammates.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been a long Olympics up there at Whistler, and you can understand how emotions can get going, especially with Lindsey Vonn falling, not being in this event, and then, of course, Mancuso having that weird thing where she starts, stops, and then because the course has changed, now she's out of it. And so you understand how that goes. It sounds to me like there's a little bit of jealousy there with some of the other women with Lindsey Vonn. I'm a big believer in the old rising tide, lifts all boats. And I would say to any of those women skiers, Lindsey Vonn is great for you guys. And I would be praising her and encouraging her and thanking her for bringing all the attention to the team.
Long time at Whistler, like you said, it's not over yet, so we'll probably be talking about it.
I spoke with gold medalist Evan Lysacek when he returned to Vancouver, and I asked Evan if he thought the podium was set after the women's short program. I also asked him about comments made by second-place finisher Evgeny Plushenko.
I think everyone's pulling for Joanie, and I told her last night after she skated, she was hands down the most emotional and maybe the most beautiful of the night. It was beyond her skating, but the way that entire building was just filled with love and emotion for her. Every audience member was wanted to be on the ice with her, and I don't know if I've ever seen that amount of support. I've definitely seen a lot of support, but I don't know if I've ever seen that level of love for a skater, and I think we're all with her, we're all pulling for her, and she's so strong, but for something like this to happen to her makes no sense. I think I understand how much pressure he's under because he is not just a reigning Olympic champion. He had all the power coming in because he had what we all wanted. He had that gold medal. But he also had the expectations of a large skating federation and a country for that matter, because he's a really well-known personality in Russia on his shoulders, and that pressure is tremendous. And to be able to lead after the short program, skate last, wait for the whole event to skate last, skate as well as he did. I mean, he really nailed that performance, and he was selling that skate more than I've seen in the past. So I really did see improvement in him and was very impressed as an audience member. To succeed at all of that must feel great, and especially like he said, he was 100% certain that he was going to win, and for that to not happen and for you to have I guess, mentally prepared yourself every single day for the last 365 days that you're going to win, and then for it to not happen must be a disappointment. And as he's not going to get over it in one day, it's going to maybe take time, but he should be proud of himself. And I think for me, I guess it stings a little bit just because he's someone that I've looked up to for a long time, and I was excited to have him in the competition. It was exciting to be able to be on the ice with him again. And I don't know, I guess it would be like if you played basketball and you idolized Michael Jordan and all you wanted was to one day make the team with Michael Jordan, and you finally made the team, and the first thing he said, he was like, "You suck." I guess if someone else insulted me, I would just let it go completely. But for someone that you kind of look up to, I guess it stings a little bit. But like I said, I do understand that this is probably a little bit of a tough situation for him to handle.
In more figure skating news, Johnny Weir responded to comments made by two broadcasters on a French-language sports station during a short program. In the broadcast, the pair suggested he undergo gender testing and compete in women's events.
As a believer in free speech, I don't want an apology. Personally, I don't want an apology from those guys. I mean, there are very small chances that I would ever go on their show, but I don't need an apology from them. I want them to apologize to the people that feel that they've been wronged. I feel in no way that I've been wronged, but I just wanted to call attention to the fact that I did hear it, it was offensive, and I don't want the next generation of athletes, skaters, young people, I don't want them to have to deal with the same thing. As somebody that didn't do a quad, I completely am so excited that Evan won without a quad. I think he did an excellent job, he works very hard, and he deserved what he got. I did talk to both Yevgeny Plushenko and his agent yesterday, and Yevgeny today. We practiced together. And I asked him, I said, well, what's up? Why is everyone being mean to you? What'd you do? And he said, Johnny, it was taken completely the wrong way than what I meant it. I wanted it to be a message that I felt like a quad is needed for the progress of men's skating. I feel like the future generations of men's skaters should be doing quads. And I felt that I was one of the strongest competitors here because I did one. He in no way was attacking Evan. He didn't want to say anything about Evan. And he just wanted his opinion to be heard, and it came off the wrong way.
There's always something in figure skating. Tonight, it's the women's long program. We'll get a medal here, so break it down.
Exactly, the last of the four disciplines now. And Kim Yoon-ah of South Korea is poised to win the Olympic gold medal. If she does, not only does she win it, but her coach, Brian Orser, who lost the Battle of the Bryans 22 years ago, just 400 miles away in Calgary, would also, of course, be the coach of an Olympic gold medalist. There will be a lot of people in Canada who will be thrilled for that if it happens. I think it will. Mao Asada of Japan is about 5 points behind. I just don't see her catching Kim. And in third place right now, of course, Canadian Joanie Rochette. And I think if Mao Asada were to fall on one or two of those triple axels she's going to be trying, the toughest jump that the women do, I think Rochette could even move into second place, depending on how things go. It will be emotional again. Of course, she lost her mom the other day. And meanwhile, the Americans, Rachel Flatt, Mirai Nagasu, 5th and 6th. And for them to win a medal, Reed, it would be everyone falling all over the ice, human Zambonis. I don't think we're going to see that, but I certainly hope that they skate well, acquit themselves well, and maybe one of them could sneak into 4th place, which wouldn't be so bad.
You talked yesterday about the great duel in the short program. We'll see if we get the great duel in the long.
It would be great to see. I hope they skate great, because that's what you want. On the final night of skating, the marquee event, this is kind of the Miss America of the Olympic Games, winning the women's gold medal, and you want to see some great skating. And of course, if the U.S. doesn't win a medal, it'll be the first time since 1964 that an American woman does not win a medal in the Olympics in figure skating, which would be a kind of an interesting little, footnote to this whole story.
As always, it'll be interesting, and as always, we'll come back to you for the wrap-up.
You got it.
It's the last week of an Olympics held on Canadian soil, so you can bet we're going to be talking about hockey. The U.S. men's hockey team survived Switzerland in the quarterfinals 2-0. Canada crushed Russia 7-3. Both Canada and the U.S. will play in Friday's semifinals.
The U.S. women face off against Canada in the gold medal match today. The United States won World Championship titles in 2008 and 2009, but Canada has won the last 5 games against the U.S. in the lead-up to the Olympic Games. Veteran Angela Ruggiero, who, by the way, was just elected to the International Olympic Committee, talked with USA Today about the exposure the Games bring to women's hockey.
You know, it is a tremendous opportunity for our sport to be visible and to have other young girls, you know, look up to us. And what you always see is, you know, the enrollment rates in hockey spike after the Olympics when they can see us and say, I want to do that. And, you know, when I was younger, I remember Wayne Gretzky just came out to the Kings when I started playing, and I tried out in a Coke commercial, and you know, I got to kind of see him, and I did the fist pump, and oh, Wayne Gretzky's who I want to be when I grow up. And now it's really amazing to see that, you know, little girls can see us on TV.
Bobsledders Erin Pack and Elaine Myers scored bronze medals at Whistler yesterday. The pair finished behind two Canadian teams. It was also bronze for American women's speed skating team in the 3,000-meter relay.
The men's freestyle aerials team heads into finals today after qualifying 2nd and 5th. Aerialist Jarrett "Speedy" Peterson talked to us about the sport and his signature trick, the hurricane.
We go about 55 feet up into the air off of a 15-foot tall kicker made of snow. The top of the jump is 71 degrees, and we'll ski into it going about 40 to 45 miles an hour, performing multiple flips and twists. I have a trick that I do called the hurricane. It's 3 flips and 5 twists. All happens within about 3.2 seconds. The funniest thing about Olympians is that everybody thinks that the other athletes do the crazy sport. I would never go in a bobsled 90 miles an hour down a course, or skeleton, even worse, going head first 2 inches off the ice. Those guys are nuts. Going 90 miles an hour on the downhill, no thank you. I am completely comfortable being upside down 50 feet in the air, though. Hopefully a gold medal. That's the only thing I'm really hoping to walk away with from these Olympics. I think everybody has kind of seen my ability, and they know my personality, that I'm somebody who's going to leave it all out there. I'm going to leave it all on the table so that when I walk away, I know that I have given everything that I have. It's something that I really want to prove to myself, that I have given 110%.
Hockey fever is a way of life all over Canada. We take you to the Aboriginal Musqueam Reserve in Vancouver, where the local rink is a strip of asphalt. Parents say they can't afford to register their children in organized leagues, but the kids want to play any way they can.
The minute they're awake, the phone calls start. Usually around 10 o'clock in the morning, gathering kids, and as soon as they're out there, then other kids ride by, drive by, and join in.
We're on the Musqueam Indian Reserve. We've been playing for like 5 years every summer. I love hockey. It's just so fast-paced, it's a fast-paced sport. And soccer is huge here, but not a lot of people play hockey around here.
It's not a mandatory thing. They create it themselves. They just prefer to be outside. And they prefer to be little Canadian boys with a hockey stick. Kids have always enjoyed the sport, but accessibility and availability and being able to afford to do it. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. I think as a mother myself, with my son playing hockey, it was a little overwhelming to discover how expensive it is. It cost me more for my son to play hockey than it did for all 4 of my kids to play soccer for a whole year.
Side to side, side to side. Oh no. I kind of copy my favorite hockey player a lot. Copy his tricks. Ovechkin. Oh, back again. But sometimes I can't pull it off. Usually I just do the same thing over and over again.
This is his first year playing, so I know very little about how to be a hockey mom, but I do enjoy it, and I know he's passionate about it. He loves it.
Like, hockey will always be my favorite sport. That's my dream, to play in the NHL.
Well, that's it for Vancouver Today, but Christine's workday continues. Christine?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Reed. We'll have a chat online at usatoday.com, 2 o'clock Eastern, answering all your questions about women's figure skating or the Olympic Games in general. I look forward to talking with you then, and we'll see you tomorrow on Vancouver Today.